end-to-end architecture diagrams. This is the final day, and this is where AWS checks one thing above all else. Can you see the entire system at once and explain it clearly enough that someone can trust it? This is not about pretty boxes. This is about flow, safety, and responsibility, all in one picture. Imagine this. An AI system helps coordinate air traffic operations. It answers internal questions. It uses official manuals. It runs an agent that can trigger actions. It must be private, observable, safe, and cost-controlled. AWS does not ask which service does embeddings. AWS asks, draw the system so I can trust it. That's what day 25 is really testing. Here's the golden rule. If a diagram does not show flow, boundaries, and who is responsible for what, it is not a real architecture diagram. AWS diagrams are not art. They are explanations. Start with the core skeleton. A user or client sends a request. That request enters through API Gateway. It reaches an application or orchestrator, usually Lambda or ECS. That orchestrator invokes Bedrock. A response comes back. That's the minimum shape. Now we add meaning. The first major addition is retrieval. In a real GI system, the model does not answer from memory, so the diagram must show the application calls a retrieval layer, embeddings are generated, a vector store is queried, relevant chunks are returned. Only then does the model generate an answer. The key idea is simple. Retrieval happens before generation. If your diagram shows the LLM reading S3 directly, it's wrong. Now we add agents. This is where diagrams separate juniors from seniors. An agent is not a box, it is a loop. The diagram must show that the LLM plans, retrieval provides facts, Lambda tools execute actions, observations come back, memory is updated, and the loop repeats until the task is done. If you can explain that loop in your diagram, you pass every agent question. Next comes security boundaries. AWS wants to see that you know where trust stops. Your diagram should clearly show the application and tools running in private subnets, VPC endpoints for S3 and service APIs, no uncontrolled public internet access in regulated systems. IAM boundaries must be visible too. Separate roles for the application runtime, the tools, and administrative setup. Least privilege is not a sentence, it's a shape in the diagram. Then comes data protection. Show encrypted S3 buckets, show KMS keys, show secrets stored in Secrets Manager. AWS wants to see that sensitive data is protected by design, not by hope. Finally, observability. This is the most commonly forgotten piece. Your diagram should always include CloudWatch logs for events, CloudWatch metrics for health, X-ray for end-to-end traces. This shows that the system can be owned after launch. A system you cannot observe is a system you do not control. When everything is combined, your mental diagram includes client, API gateway, application or orchestrator, RAG retrieval, Bedrock model, agent loop, Lambda tools, IAM roles, VPC endpoints, encrypted storage, logging, metrics, and tracing. Not every box needs detail, but every responsibility must be placed. There are classic mistakes AWS penalizes hard, letting the LLM call databases directly, skipping the retrieval layer, putting everything in one giant box, ignoring network boundaries, forgetting observability, sprinkling public internet everywhere. Those diagrams look simple and fail exams. If you're asked to describe your diagram, say something like this. Requests enter through API Gateway are orchestrated by a Lambda service, which performs retrieval using embeddings from a vector store before invoking Bedrock. Agents use this knowledge to plan actions executed via Lambda tools, with full observability through CloudWatch and X-ray, all running in private subnets with least privilege IAM and KMS encryption. That single explanation hits architecture, security, RAG, agents, and operations. Here's the final sentence to lock the entire course into memory. A good architecture diagram shows flow, trust boundaries, and responsibility, not just services. If you can do that, you don't just pass the exam, you think like an owner. Final self-test. AWS asks for a secure, observable GenAI system with RAG and agents. What must your diagram include? Data flow, retrieval before generation, the agent loop, IAM roles, VPC boundaries, and observability. You're done.